Hello and welcome back, guys, to the League of Legends 4pl play4fame Kaostv Vengeance Cup August final. I am Pulse, once again joined by Spuddington.
Hello.
Hello. So, yeah, we once again have the Fnatic team against who I believe to be TT.Dragons with a couple change-ups in their lineup. I remember Judok, I remember Nekard. The rest of them, I kinda don't, so they must have had some change-ups.
Was we will failure with them before?
No, I
Maybe?
don't think he was.
Oh, maybe. I've heard the name somewhere else, perhaps. But certainly, Punzu India and Man of One Way, no, nothing. Anyway, Yorick and Alistair. Alistair, very strong jungler. Very strong jungler, actually. Quite difficult to avoid being ganked by, and honestly could just snowball the whole game, so obviously they banned that out to just prevent that whole kind of extremely early game focused style that Alistair loves to play. Yorick, very difficult lane bully. Skills basically with the AD carry essentially because his ultimate, otherwise his late game is kind of bad. And the next two are Malphite and Nunu.
Yeah, and Nunu, once again, he's great in the jungle, he's great as a support, one of the main things, with the great buff to the AD carry, basically buffing him great with on-hit effects such as Vayne, such as Cogmore, just really strong in general. A lot of things he can bring to the team. Malphite, well, as we've said before, anti-AD, we saw Soha's last game just trolling the heck out of the enemy team. Absolutely insane. We will have Shen and Udyr, of course, show that global presence.
Yeah. Although to be fair, last game Malphite was already quite significantly ahead, I would say, by the time he was able to wade through 4 members of the enemy team. Yeah, that must have been kind of upsetting to play against. I mean, seriously, what did he get? 2, 3 kills out of it as well?
Almost a quadra.
And an Ezreal pick, yeah. Right now, Ezreal... Okay, I haven't played that many games since the last patch in which Ezreal was nerfed, but from what I can tell from the patch notes, Ezreal is probably the least touched of the big 3 AD carries as they were previously. Graves, Corki, and Ezreal. Probably Ezreal is now the number 1 AD carry. That would be my instinct right now. And yeah, he's going to have really good burst, really good range poke, really good repositioning skill, pack speed debuff. He's pretty much just got it all. And he's up against a Taric Sivir lane by the looks of it, which is brutal actually. Taric Sivir has incredibly high burst. I mean, like Sivir herself has mental amounts of damage, and obviously Taric has the shatter, stun, shatter, radiance combo, which honestly, coupled with Sivir and the armor reduction from shatter, will just insta-give someone at level 6, 100-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what constitutes a great AD carry at the moment. Strong laning presence, strong mid-game transition. I mean, that's what you're looking for. Mid-game is really where most of the team fights happen. And Ezreal just has all that. So does Sivir to some respect, and to some extent, rather. And that's kind of like why Sivir's coming back into the scene. We've seen her 2 games in a row now, and I honestly think she's viable in that respect. We will see Zyra coming out here, maybe as a support once again. That could definitely be a thing, because it worked out well for them last game. Okay, he went with kind of a polished build, purely because they were so far ahead, but I can see it working. And we've said this before, we'll go into deeper depth at some point during the game, but right now we do not have the time, because we will have a Cyanide picking up that Shyvana. Shyvana great at the counter jungling, but of course counter jungling does require your team to be competent, but hey, this is ranked 5s, or pre-5s. It's not ranked, but it's definitely a tournament.
Yeah, Shyvana is just that counter jungler who can seem to be everywhere, stealing all of your stuff all the time, basically. And it's because Burnout gives her great mobility. She can just get around the camps and clear them incredibly fast. And it just basically it shuts out a lot of viable jungle choices for the enemy, because if they're not able to deal with that, then they'll fall behind massively. And then there's a Lee Sin and an Orianna pick. Okay, Lee Sin is probably a very flexible choice. Like, he can go top lane or he can go into jungle, and he's very strong in either role for his early game. Like, he has great sustain and very strong ganking power, high burst damage and good CC as well. But obviously he falls off somewhat late game, though he still retains a fair bit of utility. And Orianna is just a really strong pick for... she's not the highest damage AP carry in the world, but she has really good utility, and early game, mid game, she's still very strong relevant. damage. And it's coming up against maybe a Diana pick, maybe? Could be going for that. Could be going for the Zyra support again.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, it went well so well last time, so there's no reason they wouldn't. Diana is so strong right now. Obviously, with the nerfs, she's still pretty good. And Xpeke is proving how well he can play her. And we will have Fart picking up that Irelia. Of course, Fart was AD carry last game, so probably going to swap up with that Israel. That would make a whole lot of sense. Obviously, giving that Irelia to Soaz. And the last pick will be that Jax, obvious counter to Irelia.
Yeah, Jax does incredibly well against Aurelia because he has that counter strike, and it looks like it might be jungle Jax though. Is very interesting, maybe? Maybe I'm misinterpreting this.
Wait, what? They have 2 smites at the moment, so that's kind of confusing me. Uduk has smite and Negative has smite.
They'll probably swap it at the last second just to confuse us.
Yeah, I know they will. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, gentlemen. So, okay, so Fnatic have just realised they need to swap up, and they will be doing that. So, yeah, interesting compositions so far. We're looking at the Sivir and Taric bottom lane. Alright, looks pretty standard so far. But anyway, guys, I'd just like to mention that for today only, August 31st, alternate.de will bundle a free Corsair t-shirt, can't even pronounce the misfourth words, with any purchase of a Corsair Vengeance headset, keyboard or mouse. So take advantage of the special offer, click on the link or on the banner. It's first come, first serve, so be quick basically. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I would also like to mention the fact that there is a giveaway on www.kaostv.eu Vengeance. Will be a Corsair Vengeance 2007.1 gaming headset, so go ahead, check that out. Looks very, very interesting. Show that site some love, and yeah, get on it as soon as possible because, as we said, first come, first serve. Okay, we have like 20 seconds left, so I don't think there's enough time to actually check a room page. That would be very, very dicey. In fact, I'm just going to say we're going to jump into a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we will be in game with Fnatic versus TT.Dragons. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back, guys. This is the League of Legends 4pl play4fame Kaostv Vengeance Cup August final with myself, Pulse, and Spuddington. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so we do Fnatic versus TT.Dragons. And yeah, everyone's kind of dissipating into the flamingo formation that we all know and love. Kind of fanning out into it, if you will. And so as once again, just teleporting and stutter stepping.
Yeah, flamingo formation. You might want to explain sort of what you mean by that rather sort of frivolous term. It kind of, I think what you mean is that they're sort of spreading out into a very kind of defensive formation where they kind of cover as many jungle entrances as they can to stop invasions without their knowledge.
Yeah,
As
maybe I
opposed to
should
saying,
call it
"It's a flamingo."
something like the flat flamingo, kind of being like run over by a truck or something. That would make more sense. Because it would be like fan out. It would be fanning out. Or the peacock formation. That would make more sense.
Fan, maybe? I wouldn't,
Well, no, you'd be fanning out into the peacock formation.
Yeah, let's go with that. Why not?
I'm a trendsetter.
Yes. Yes, you are. You're a very special trendsetter.
But we... Okay, wow, okay, that will be the wall being picked up immediately, grasping roots coming down to we will fail. But that will, one, prevent the golems being taken, but most importantly, the ward has been gone. Has been taken.
Yeah. What that does is it creates an area of kind of uncertainty. Like, if you have an area pink warded and you can't pink ward it in return, it means that the jungler could be ganking at any time, and you just can't be ready for that. Like, and we have an invisible blue buff.
Yeah, invisible blue buff. Nice.
Magic.
Outstanding.
It's okay. Just a blue buff from nowhere on Lee Sin. Interesting.
Ooh. Yeah. So
Best online technical.
we've seen a lot of those buffs being kind of janky recently, especially Drake, things like that. And already we will fail being quite aggressive onto Enrater, just poking me in the face with that nice stun, which Sivir really couldn't do too much about. Could have thrown Boomerang Blade, I guess.
Yeah, it's
with
got a very long
Ricochet.
range. Wait, she's taking Ricochet first?
Yeah.
That's unusual. I can't really see why. I guess that's a much more mana-efficient way of harassing, because it's essentially an attack timer reset, and you can just do it, do the 1-2 auto-attack Ricochet very quickly. But it seems a little bit of a strange choice considering the sheer burst damage that Boomerang Blade gives you. Actually, Lee Sin heading in at top.
Yeah, and Counter-Strike has been used by Jax, got about 11 seconds on that, so I'm going to guess that Nekazov's going to go ahead and wait for that. But the wave is pushing, so this is going to be a lot of time wasted if he doesn't get this done. I think he's going to have to back off here. Oh, he wants it, like he wants this to happen. But it's not really worth a massive Yeah, Lee Sin is realising he's going to head out of the bush. So I really will know he's there, knows that he was trying to get that done. But basically it just shows jungler presence more than anything.
Yeah, but the thing is with jungler...
Oh, Enrater getting huge damage onto him by Puzu India. And they will be backing up. Grasping Roots comes down as well, just as a defensive more than anything onto that seed. But that was painful. So much burst just on these early levels just from Tarek and Sivir.
Yeah, like from level 2 they'll have like their full burst combo, and that is going to be brutal all the way through the laning phase. In fact, even later on...
Oh, there's a flash from We Will Fail, another flash from Enrated, perfect reactions. Ow, Boomerang Blade from max range as well, landing right on the tip, and Fart will be returning the favour with some extra damage along with the Q spam. And this is because I flamed your Mao, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, it's... I'm guessing that's something that's in the chat log that the viewers can't actually see.
Probably something that happened in Solo in all honesty, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. But, yeah, right now, I'm interested in how even this top lane is. Like, so often we see this. We see, like, traditional knowledge tells you that Jax kind of counters Irelia, because...
Oh, We Will Fail looking for the gank onto Xpeke. Lured into a false sense of security because Lee just ganked a little while back, but not really able to follow up on it due to just way too low mana.
Yeah, there's not really much you can do, like, simply with that. Interesting now. I just saw Soaz stun Man of One Way, even though I'm pretty sure Soaz was on full health and Man of One Way was on slightly less than that. Equilibrium strike. It balances people, and some people are made more equal than others. But yeah, it's certainly it's a very interesting matchup because essentially Irelia has.
Nakato coming in from the side though, along with Shyvana. Soa's actually going to take the brunt of this damage. Sana coming in with Burnout, pulling up onto Nekadev. Hasn't really got slow at this point, nor the Equilibrium strike, so not able to follow up. Though they do have Jax there, very careful of his counter-strike, which is coming up just about now. And Cyanide just staying in there just in case they decide to lane gank once again, but they will be backing off, no problems.
Yeah, like I say, it's a very interesting matchup because Jax.
Oh, actually,
really...
Soa's actually going to take a huge amount of damage. A man of one way, picking up that first blood. Actually, just being a bit too ballsy, trying to jump in and stun him with the Equilibrium strike, and that'll be a very, very reactive first blood.
Yeah, it's something you can often mess up against Jax. Like I was saying, like, it's a very interesting lane because Irelia doesn't really have a means to get aggressive on Jax. Like, even if Irelia gets quite a long way ahead, Counter-Strike basically nullifies all of her damage. Like, she cannot beat Jax in a straight-up trade like that. Because the Counter-Strike will nullify her damage for a good, 3 seconds, isn't it? And then after that, she'll be stunned, and he'll have a freewheeling time on her. So, you'd think, therefore, that Jax would basically just dominate the lane, like, all the way through and win it. But it seems like Irelia players are finding more and more that they can still manage to get their farm, because if Jax tries to get aggressive on them, you can just Equilibrium strike. You know, you can just kind of play it passive, back away, stun him, and then, you know, go in and stun him and then go in, like, for your own damage, like, after his counter-strike is worn off. So it tends to be more even than you would ever expect. Like, but obviously First Blood can change things around a bit. And I am getting no sound at all, which is interesting.
That's funny because I may have muted myself. So I was taking a lot of damage from Jax meanwhile at top, and I'm zoning out by unrated. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Outstanding.
Smooth, by the way.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. Technical difficulties.
Please stand by.
Wasn't my own fault at all. Looking at Xpeke with that skin, and I can understand why they changed it around so it doesn't look exactly like Syndra, because with the orbs going around with Pale Cascade, yeah, looked identical.
Yeah, someone screwed up there in the art department, I suspect. But, you know, not too bad.
It's probably like, here's a skin for Syndra, okay. And then just put it for Diana.
It could be, actually, that it was just two separate teams that came up with exactly the same idea simultaneously. This happens more than people think. Like you have the same kind of things in your environment that give you the primers to invent something like that. And actually, Man of One Way trading with Soaz pretty well there. Did pop his ult though. In fact, so did Soaz.
Yeah, it was something that really wasn't going to just happen. I don't think these guys really want to commit on each other just yet. As you said, it kind of does get to a more even lane the later it goes on, but more harassment than anything, and actually Sun goes down Cyanide and the Leap Strike. And that is really how hard it is to gank Jax. It's just, well, hey, I have Leap Strike. As long as I don't initiate with it, I am good to go. This has kind of been a passive laning phase in all honesty, and the fact that Tarek counter-wards at the very start didn't hurt them too much because Zyra has those plants, so she can be warding with the plants as well, which is another strength of just Zyra support in general.
Yeah, but the fact that it's been a passive laning phase, I feel, will not favour TT.Dragons here.
Meanwhile, top Man of One Way going over the counter-strike, so I was trying to kite Ekadurp jumping to that minion. Oh, Flash goes out of the way, missing the Sonic wave, and he will be safe. He'll be good to go.
Yep, just walking out there. But yeah, like I say, the passive nature of the laning phase, I think, does not favour TT.Dragons here. Like, they have Lee Sin, who kind of scales off, and they're up against a team of probably some of the best scaling characters in the game. Go ahead.
Bit of a pause going on here, but
right.
Yeah, it's important to note, guys, that Spuddy is not able to get into the game because someone turned off spectators in the lobby. So,
Yep. Thanks for that, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, Lee Sin kind of falls off as the game goes on, and honestly, I'd say Taric does a bit as well. Like, he still remains relevant because he basically just gives free stats to everyone around him, and he still has that stun, which is great. But his heal isn't very relevant, his damage isn't very relevant, and yeah, he's just kind of a bit lackluster outside of the lane.
Yeah,
But
that being said, they are kind of zoning them out at the moment. Initiation goes down straight on to India. Huge damage coming out, jumping after, ultimate goes down, and there's the Dragon's Descent as well. First kill, Nekaturb also probably going to pick up, no. Shyvana will be falling, Xpeke looking to mop up some We Will Fail her. Man of one way jumping onto Enerator to support, and Ezreal also being zoned out, low mana, low health. Xpeke meanwhile duking like a king, Man of one way. Stranglethorns comes down, will proc. And Man of one way will be picked off, Luna Rush goes down, will be picked up in mid-flight by Judok. And that will be a 4-4 free trade overall. Seed goes down just for division by N-rated.
yeah, that was an interesting fight there. I'm surprised at essentially how well it turned out for Fnatic there. I think largely because Xpeke was able to escape, basically. Like he was somewhat out of position after diving in, and was sort of able to just back out to the edge of the fight and re-engage when he chose to clean up at the end, as Diana is wont to do. Just, you know, Crescent Strike, Moonfall, not Moonfall. Moonfall is the pull-in. Luna Rush, and that makes it very difficult. But actually, neither side was left with enough strength to take the Dragons. So now, obviously, they're all focusing on it again. They're all kind of forming up. So Soaz is probably going to want to clear out that top lane as fast as he possibly can. Like, to do so, yeah. Actually, TT.Dragons are going to take this more or less uncontested.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Either that was like a bad call by Soaz, or it was just the fact that they got caught off guard by the fact that they went straight to it. But generally, that's what you expect from people. And Sana, nope, okay, he did pick up the ward. Kind of like, oh, you really going to hold fast that ward? That could have been quite dicey. But yeah, it looks like Irelia will be looking to push top, but obviously he knows Jax is going to be on his way. So Jax is taking the scenic route. He doesn't really want to be picked up by Irelia right here. So honestly, that makes a huge lot of sense.
Yeah, it's there's always that kind of difficult situation you can get into where you are not sure, and actually at bottom, no, nothing happening. That difficult situation you can get into where you have this enormous creep wave battering down your tower.
Oh, India could be picked up here though. Ezreal, ooh, close, because We Will Fail will be intercepting them. Actually, ultimate going down, intercepted by We Will Fail. Ooh, didn't actually see if that tagged her or not, but honestly, if that did tag her, then if Taric wasn't standing in the way, that would have been a kill for Ezreal. That was perfectly placed, knew exactly where she should be recalling. That being said, Cyanide looking for the gank here right now. We Will Fail her. Kind of wandering around that turret, impending doom. Nekaturb actually going to come in, instantly giving that ward though. We Will Fail her still staying around without the support of his teammates. Seed goes down. And I think they should be able to pick up this bottom turret pretty much uncontested. We Will Fail her going in very balls deep. Nekaturb in behind him along with Orianna. They really can't contest though. A lot of posturing more than anything. No real substance to this push.
Yeah, and top lane right now is incredibly even. Like, Man of one way and Soaz there. The health they're on right now is pretty much the health they ended up on from full. Like when they traded off against each other, they ended up on that health. And it was really, really exactly as I said, the mechanics of it was literally just Jax gets a little bit ahead, equilibrium strikes, so he gets stunned, so he falls behind a little bit, and then they kind of trade off almost on an equal footing. It was, yeah, not what you expect when you think, Jax is a counter lane. But
yeah, and actually here's the dive. Nekaturb coming in from the side as well. Man and one way will be picked up. Nekaturb looking to follow up. There is the one-for-one trade, and he felt he just had to commit in that situation. And that makes perfect sense, and that will be bringing it to that even trade that we just saw. In fact, Cyanide and Xpeke pushing... Oh, no, I'm looking in the wrong direction. Never mind, they're retreating.
we are advancing in the opposite direction.
Tactical advance, retreat.
I'm going to advance retreat this way.
Yes.
No, yeah. Anyway.
Advanced retreat in the direction of the enemy turrets they're facing.
Yeah, and it looks like Fnatic are actually just sort of starting to edge out in front at the moment. Like, 4, I think they were a little bit behind. Now I think they're a little bit ahead. Like, Lee Sin, I'm trying to think. Probably Ezreal scales better than Sivir. Like, Sivir suffers from problems with range and having no escape late game. Like, she has a lower auto-attack range than kind of the standard. I think she has 525. That obviously means she has to get in much closer to her opponents than she will ever really feel comfortable doing, because obviously, range AD carry, she'll build a huge damage, but she'll be very, very squishy. She just won't want to go near. And Aurelia and Jax trading off at top again. And actually... but yeah, so Taric and Sivir, yeah, so Sivir's damage will scale up hugely, and probably more than Ezreal, but lacking that escape, lacking that range, she'll be having to put herself in much more risky positions in late game team fights, especially when you have Shyvana and Aurelia, who are such good divers.
Yeah, there's like very little they can really do. Like, what are you looking... What can they... I don't know. They have a lot of healing power. That being said, they have the AoE, obviously the stun from Jax with the counter-strike. They have the shockwave as well, which Orianna can just pop the ball on either Jax or Lee Sin, or any of the melees. They're a very close-range team, in fact. And they can just stay there. They have people who can just kind of stay behind that front line. But if they get into a messy fight, which really Fnatic's team really encourage... And it's going to not go well for them. Civ is going to have a hard time getting anyone to peel for her. And look, you have Cyanide to kind of disperse them with Dragon's Descent, and Rated with the Stranglethorns. Again, you kind of want to get out the way of Fart's, Fart's ultimate. Oh dear. And Xpeke kind of drags them in, but again, you try to get away from these people with the AoE, and basically they want to maintain that front line. And actually, meanwhile, Cyanide jumping in onto Man of the Way. Man of One Way, rather. Soaz looking to pick up this kill. He wants this. Nekado coming on the side. Oh, juking the Sonic Wave, but that will result in the kill. However, Nekado not picking up the assist, so that was the best he could achieve in that situation.
Yeah, that was actually very nicely played by Jax there. Like, he didn't do the thing that you usually do when you feel you're about to die and jump straight in on Aurelia to try and do as much damage as possible. Instead, he kept his map awareness even though he was being 2v1 and his tower needed to maneuver very carefully. And he saw Lee Sin was coming in and he jumped towards him.
Oh, Weevil Failure just immediately gibbed, really. He was just kind of wandering around. But meanwhile, mid, Xpeke trying to get out of here. Pale Cascade goes down. Lands the Sonic Wave, but not going to follow up on it. Azira and Ezreal are in the vicinity. I guess that's why they were backing off. Just weren't confident in their trading ability. Okay, they're looking to contest as blue. There's a ward in that bush. Who has the Oracle, if anyone? No one in the area. Nakaderp, that will be the blue, will picked up by the smite from Nakaderp. Not ideal circumstances. You would most likely want to get on that get that on the Orianna, but they forced him in a very awkward circumstance where, well, they had to just fight it.
Smite it or have it smited, basically.
Yeah. But that will be the Drake, because, well, Shyvana has smite, Lee Sin does not.
Yep, and that's actually like a very clever thing you can do, is to try and force that situation.
Oh, this could be initiated. Go straight onto N-Rated. Nakato coming in, looking for the Dragon's Rage. There it is, knocking N-Rated over the wall. Cyanide will fall immediately. Fart looking to be picked up here. There's a Shockwave. There's the 2 picks, 2 for 0 so far. Xpeke looking in the bad position. Cyanide coming in from the north as well, looking not to get picked up. They have a great picking team from TT.Dragons right here.
Yeah, that is the power of having so much single target CC. Like, you can just kind of hold one person in place and they will not get away. And obviously, Jax and Lee Sin are very, very sticky kind of duelists. Like, just really, really, really hard to get away from. And like I say, very bursty composition. Like, Sphere's damage is going to be insanely high late game, but she might have problems in a full-on team fight. But if they don't get into a full-on team fight, if they get into a situation where it's just Sivir versus, you know, a stunned guy, Sivir's damage is going to be probably in excess of Ezreal's. So yeah, it's an interesting composition. Kind of relies on catching people out, which could be difficult. Like, Fnatic might just be able to force too many fights, like
Yeah,
over
that being
objectives
said,
like Baron.
XPK moving on straight onto Man of the Way. And Sana just following up with the auto attacks more than anything. They should be, yeah, there is the pickup by XPK. Kind of interested to see what he actually picked that up with, because he had a little bit of health. It maybe looked like a glitched Pale Cascade on my screen, but looked very odd either way. But there we go,
was
that
Ignite.
will be the kill. Ah, okay. Ignite did not show up on my screen. Huh.
Well, the thing about Ignite is it has some initial damage, like it does half of its damage, I think, instantly.
Right.
So,
no, I think they changed it, so it does it everything over time right now.
Oh, really? Maybe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. But yeah, very, very.
That's some of the spell that everyone runs, I'm not sure.
Game knowledge. What is this?
Colour casting.
Yep.
So,
Sort of surprising.
one of those things that was kind of under the hood though, like I never really noticed it until I looked at it. I don't think it was ever in like the patch notes or anything. I never remember reading it in patch notes, so
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Well, you could mouse over it in your client. Like I can't, obviously.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Oh, weird pulse. Even you can check it. Okay. What? Is it? Is it really just all over time?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It is. Bizarre. I guess it still does the first tick instantly though, so maybe
Yeah.
for the graphical effect. So
Yeah.
that was a very, very low health opponent. So yeah, it must have been the first tick that killed him. Maybe
you.
unnecessary, but whatever.
Just wait.
Look, all of the seed coming from N-rated. It's kind of good. Zyra, a support in that kind of role, can ward very efficiently with, well, the seeds. And when you're looking at a certain area on the map, and you're looking to really go for those team fights in that place on the map, like, ooh, N-rated, oh, dicey position to be in. Initiate will want to go and be on that Zyra. Ultimate will go down. Sana coming in with the Dragon Descent. Ultimate going with the Strangle Thorn. Soaz potentially being picked up. Man of one way will fall along with Soaz. Both bruises are going down. Puzu India trading off with Fart and N-rated recalling in the brush. That will be the kill once again. 3-4-2 so far. XPK jumping to the minions. Has been stunned. Looking to really deal some more damage before he ultimately falls. And, well, he is going to go ahead and just try and run for it. Good valiant attempt, but ultimately not going to work out. And N-rated amazingly managing to get away in that tiny brush just next to their own turret that they didn't even see during that team fight.
Yeah, it's just sort of snuck in there, just like, well, I don't really want to be here anymore. So, yeah, hopefully they won't notice this, or perhaps they had bigger things to worry about. Because that is sort of the beauty of being a support AP in a way. You don't have to be like, you're not as big of a damage threat, so you can afford to be a little bit more, in their faces, or at least not be too concerned about your own safety.
Yeah, definitely, and also the fact that, like, they're not... What TT.Dragons are doing well is the fact that they're, as I bite my tongue, is that they're not expending everything on Zyra when they catch Zyra, usually in, like, the beginning of the team fight. But they're not expending everything, they're just using auto attacks, using a couple of skills, but not expending everything, as I've probably just said 3 times. But that basically means they can still attack the carries, and that's exactly what they need to do. They're reacting well to it. It's like, okay, we have this catch, don't overextend and blow everything, and then we can still go in for the initiate afterwards. But we're not wasting anything by using auto attacks and like cheap low cooldown skills.
We're not wasting anything.
I bit my tongue. I don't know how I can do that while talking, but I just did it.
Well, perhaps you put your tongue between your... Wait, no, that...
Wait.
Unless you're Daffy Duck or something. I'm not quite sure how you're managing that.
I'm not a duck. A duck don't have teeth.
A cartoon duck. I said Daffy Duck. Fool. Fool of a duck. Anyway, Juduck. Yeah.
Full of a Juduck.
So... And it looks like Fart right now is just going to push bot lane actually really, really hard, and it's going to be almost a base race mid against bot.
Oh?
Nope, looks like Civ is going back to try and stop Ezreal. No, TT.Dragons are going to back out here because this is a losing fight. They can't die 4v5, and obviously Ezreal is just going to
Oh, here comes the initiator. XPK almost being immediately bursted. Nekazar picking that one up on the rampage. So as coming in looking to pick up the kill onto Jules at 1 versus 5. I don't know how long he's going to survive. Actually longer than I thought he was going to. They're actually going to go straight onto that Baron. Jack's heading back though. Right, okay. Because Ezreal, I don't think at this stage can deal with a Jax.
No,
He will be
probably
picking
not.
up that tower though.
Yeah, he can do a lot of damage very, very quickly to towers, and obviously, like...
Oh, they are trading off right now. Fart actually turning this one around. And there's the flash. I think that was an arcane shift, and there's a leap strike as well. That will be the purple team picking up Baron Nashor. And Rampage for Juduk. Yeah, that smite steal not quite happened, and then Rachel just kind of wandering about. Fart wants this inhib. He will get it before Man of One Way picks him up, but yeah, that his job has been accomplished. He just, you know, had to die right there.
Yeah, you're not going to beat a Jax with the Guardian Angel, Phage, and Bilgewater, and Baron buff. So yeah, it's still, that was a very, very good push on his part, but it did expose them to that initiate. Like I think they just, Fnatic weren't ready for that flash Taric stun basically onto Diana that removed her as a fight, and then made it sort of a 5v3, which obviously meant they could play much more aggressively than they were before in the 4v5. It's always the danger when you're split pushing, because you can just end up like with your team just not able to cope without you. So yeah, good.
Yeah,
I don't know who really came out ahead actually.
Kind of equal, I would say, but like the obviously thing I'm thinking as I interrupt you like 10 times, I'm sorry, but just to add in that point is that inhibs are generally better than, well, Baron. Just getting those towers, you have map control, and they'd probably be able to pick up mid very easily after it. But also the fact that I don't think they felt they could really go for the team fight. I just don't feel that that was really in Fnatic's cards right there. They knew they've really been not outright winning those fights, and it's just like, well, we're going to have to do something different, and they sent Ezreal bottom, and that's what they did. They had to pull something different out of the bag, and it worked out for them. So that's kind of pulled them back into an even footing. And maybe they'll outscale them, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, let's look at the late game here. Like I said, I think Fnatic probably has the better late game. I mean, they have Aurelia, and they have Shyvana, and they have Ezreal, who are really high, good scaling characters. And they also have Zyra, who is... I'm not really sure what she's building, honestly. Like, is she building pure support? Is she building more of a kind of AP, like she did last game? I couldn't tell you, honestly, but her base values are high, and she's actually fairly damaging without actually needing all that much gold. And that's probably why they're running her in this support role. It's a very interesting choice, as it happens. But yeah, Aurelia, and if you think actually, right, if you think about the team fight presence, and you compared Taric and Zyra, even under farmed, there's just no contest. Like, Zyra is going to have way more kind of control over the fight. She's got this plant, she's got that ult, she's got that, the grasping roots, I think it's called, and obviously, yeah, controls when and where people can go much more than Taric, who just has that one single target, couple of seconds stun. And this is what you're seeing here actually, is the inhib being down, making it really
Oh, there's the initiate, though. Shockwave goes down by Orianna and jumping under this turret. I'm not sure if the tower dive is the best thing to do right here, but so it will be picked up. 2 down, 0 for Fnatic. Cyanide picked up by the turret, and that will be the kill onto Sivir. 2-for-1 trade. So escaping on very low health, as well as N-rated Man of One Way. And Nekadzeb also on very low HP, but I'm not convinced that was the best of dives.
No, it was like it worked out for them in a way, but the thing is, what it's done for them right now is it's made it so that TT.Dragons
Man of One Way jumping onto farm, however, Expected coming in from the side, now chasing after, still has the Guardian Angel, will be jumping onto Pusu India, and there's the heal bait. Can't believe that just happened. There's the double kill for Sivir, 3 kills in quick succession, and right now that just put TT.Dragons back in the driving seat.
Yeah, like, this is the thing.
But so has jumping onto Man of One Way, popping that Guardian Angel immediately, and Rachel off to the side wings. Oh, Nekadzeb just missing that cube by a Teemo, and Sivir just pushing bottom, in fact.
Yeah, like I say, when they had that inhib down, and when they had all of their guys pushing mid, Fnatic were kind of at an advantage, even though TT.Dragons had Baron buff and would probably win in a team fight. it meant that they couldn't afford to keep all of their guys in mid. They couldn't afford to have like a 5-on-5 team fight that they would win. They couldn't force that. So when Fnatic went for that really aggressive dive, and it sort of worked out. They came out on top in kills, but it meant they couldn't keep pressuring them like that. They couldn't like carry on sieging towers and forcing them back. So as a result of that, I feel like Fnatic may have actually come off worse for the dive. Like, they may have done better to have been a little more patient, to just sort of poke down the towers and just really take advantage of the 4v5 situation, which diving obviously didn't do. Like, it meant that they were putting themselves into a situation where they were not the stronger team, basically.
Yeah, oh, Tarek just trying to get over that hitbox of that seed. I definitely have to agree, it's kind of janky at times. Like, you walk over it, you think you've walked over it, but it's just like, nope. And... yeah.
Very, very strange hitbox, actually, from what I can see there. It's always slightly confusing, though, when the game...
Oh, it could be a base race. Fnatic pushing top, a bit later than TT.Dragons, but they are pushing down mid. Ultimate has been popped by Sivir. Zyra's heading back just as a support. Everyone else is going to carry on pushing. Probably just going to send Zyra back to try and stymie the push with that ultimate, of course. She's not really bringing too much to the tower pushing. And TT.Dragons are not actually looking to do anything at all. There's the Stronger Thorns, will pop up, delaying them for about, what, 3 seconds. Ultimate goes down as well. Oh, boost to India. Lots of damage coming out. Meanwhile, that'll be one Nexus turret going down. There's the other for TT.Dragons. Straight onto the Nexus now for Fnatic and TT.Dragons. Who will pick up this game? It will be Fnatic.
Ah, wow. Wow, that was very, very sudden, actually. Like, both of the teams just kind of had that moment of realization there. Like, where they suddenly twigged what the other team was, where they were, and that they could go for a push. Obviously, as a result, and both of them realized, well, like, if we fall back, we're going to be the one that loses out, and they're so close. Like, I can see why they would have made that kind of error. Wow.
That was pretty crazy, and you know what saved them right there was that call to send Zyra back. That was such a clever call. It was just like, alright guys, we're going for this base race, send Zyra back, she's got Stronger Thorns, she can probably land at 0-5 people because they're sieging down the Nexus turret. Perfect, almost killing Putsu India. Well, that was like 2 to 3 seconds, which delayed them, and that won them the game. It was incredible. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, really clever, actually. Really, like, wow.
Yeah, that was really something, and that was only round 2. So anyway, guys, we're going to jump to a quick break, but when we get back, we will be, well, back for more amazing League of Legends action. Stay tuned, guys. Have a good one.